I'm Kat of Colorado 4x4 Girls, and you are listening to the Trailhead podcast.
Hello, Trailheads, and welcome to the Trailhead. Before the trails start today, we need to have a short safety meeting. Off-roading is an exhilarating but inherently risky sport. The insights and opinions that are shared by our hosts and any experts or guests on the podcast are intended to inform and inspire, not replace professional guidance. The Trailhead guests, partners, and any sponsors are not liable for any actions that you take based on what you hear. It is your responsibility to seek professional advice and make informed decisions, especially when attempting potentially dangerous activities. Always check current trail conditions and comply with local laws and regulations. Off-roading requires careful preparation and respect for safety, so ensure that you're well prepared before hitting the trails. And now that that's out of the way, buckle up and let the stories begin.
Welcome to the Trailhead, where trails start and stories unfold. Welcome to the show, everyone. Now here's JD.
Well, welcome to the Trailhead. How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Doing awesome.
Hey, there, it did go live. Cool. All right.
We are back from an amazing vacation where we took time off from work, from society, from Instagram.
We told our families, like literally when we were going to the Rubicon, and there's a lot to the Rubicon, but we were going to be gone for 5 days. We won't have service. We won't have anything. And I mean, people had Starlinks, but it was kind of like annoying to like borrow their Starlinks. So we just made it a conscious effort. Like there was a couple times where he needed to like worry about the Airbnb we were getting to. So he hurried and logged in really fast. But we basically unplugged for 5 days straight. And it was probably one of the best. I'm so glad.
And we even just didn't really tell people that we're Gem and the Misfit while we were there. We took a break from being Gem and the Misfit.
We did. We just were poking around you. It was amazing. We parked our Jeeps at camp, and then we just took in the Jeepers Jamboree experience that was absolutely, I mean, like, there's trails that are showers and growers, okay? So
Wow. All right.
There's the showers.
We're right into it then today.
No, I'm dead serious. Like there's trails that grow on you because of the experiences and the friends that you've been on that trail with, and you kind of grow like accustomed to. And then there's the Rubicon that just comes at you, like exactly the reason why it's iconic, exactly the reason why it's like so. I mean, just like you take every forest you've ever been in and then magnetize it by like 5 billion. It's just like the trees are so tall, and the like rocks are so perfect. They look foam. Everything looks fake. It's so perfect. It's like, you know, bald eagles flying in and bears coming through camp. Like, it's just kind of crazy. It's like a really beautiful, and it's probably the most epic rock garden I've ever been on. I mean, it was just a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was a great trail for us in our Jeeps. We didn't do any part lightly this time, did we? Mm-mm. We took all the hard stuff. We went a day, well, we went in before other people.
We went a day early.
Yeah, and we kind of got ourselves set up at Buck Island. I kind of thought about whether or not we should say that, and I remember there's not that many people that listen to it, so it's not going to ruin
You're good.
It. Yeah.
No, someday, like even people coming back to this episode, like years when we refer to them later, it'll still be a few number.
Yeah. So anyway, so the thing is that we went in. If you go the normal days, I guess they block off some of the harder routes and they don't let you do a lot of the optional stuff. And so we took our time doing all the optional obstacles.
We even went up and did like Old Sluice.
Yeah, we did old Sluice, which is the middle sluice.
Super cool.
It's extremely technical. You could drive over the slabs, or you can do the sluice. We did the middle sluice there. It was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. We skipped the last part. There was like one little section that was like, I mean, 8-foot drop offs, like just
Yeah.
boulders the size of
So there's
shacks. Like
Bender-
they weren't like screwing around. And we were
Bender
like,
did not want to damage the Motobilt Gladiator.
He's like, no, we're just
And so he's like, we're not going past this spot, and we cut over for like the very last part of it. Yeah, we had a blast. The Gem got a log stuck in her tire.
Like
It's one of the-
we gotta pull. I gotta
We have
pull
the
that up
weirdest
while you
shit
guys are talking
happen
about
to
it.
us. Yeah, you should pull it
It
up.
was, I mean, it was kind of just a blip on the radar. It's funny because it's like the one thing that we've posted because we just have not had time to post anything. Plus, we really didn't take a lot of content because we were just soaking it in. It was absolutely incredible. And, but yeah, going up on Soup Bowl and everybody, I mean, we even looked at other people that were on the Soup Bowl that day, and those logs were in those exact same spot. I just hit that log just perfect, and nobody was caring about that tire. That wasn't the tire that was important.
Yeah, we were worried about the rock slider.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean, the great thing is that like I was going and I'm like, cool, I'm staying with traction. Well, because I have a log at my ass. Like that's why I have so much traction.
Yeah, because it was yeeting you over the obstacle at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that rock gets kind of like silty, so it gets kind of slippery. So like I was like, cool, my tires are hooking, and all of a sudden Pope's like, whoa, you're taking a log with you. So we stopped and we were going to back up, but it was like way jacked up. So we had to wench the log out, but we didn't get any video of. And then we realized my shock was bent. So Bender just took the winch to it and straightened it out. And it was like no big deal. It was, I mean, talk about having the right person on the trail. Bender is one hell of a guy. Like we really got to like have like campfire time with him, like kind of camp, sit around and bullshit time. And he is one hell of a person. He's got some of the coolest stories. He's a really great guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he straightened my shock out, and then literally I drove on the same tires, same shock, same everything, just drove right to camp. That was really the only thing.
It didn't damage it damaged the shock enough to where we had to pull it out with a winch, but it didn't leak any oil or anything. It was still pretty much compressing.
Working. Everything was weird. It had to cycle a little bit. It took a second. Like I could definitely, when I was off camber on things and that tire would get light, I could feel it go push just a little. Yeah, definitely.
We rented that 35-foot trailer again, the one that we were doing the video about. What should we do about the ramps, right?
Right.
And so we get up there, we drive this thing all the way across. And let me tell you, the two Jeeps felt perfect on this thing from Salt Lake all the way to the California border. Like all the way to Reno.
Oh wait, there's an all the way till. I know that's not good.
Yeah.
And
we didn't know that I-80 going down the north side that would be the north I-80, like where you go up and over. We didn't know that that's not the way you go, but like that day it basically said in our GPS that there was like mudslides and different things down on the bottom, and so we were just trying to get to Uncle Tom's cabin, and so we didn't know. Okay, you can tell.
Yeah, but our basically our whole route was the going in, we were going to come in from the north, and going out, we were going to go out Highway 50 and head out to the South Tahoe area, right? Mm-hmm. And then back up into Reno, and then go back home on I-80 going east. Well, the problem is that, so if you've never driven two Jeeps on a trailer,
going down 7% grades, 7% grades. Yeah, no,
8% at some point.
Turns like full, like, and
yeah, you're on a bobsled with a turn at the bottom in a 30,000-pound death machine
for 2.5 hours.
For 2.5 hours.
And then
we took that shit slow.
Oh my god!
Like the sign said recommend 50, and I tried to figure out how to do 45 or less because
hazards.
It was hazardous. It was you're going down those hills fast, and
then we had to stop at all of the brake points because it was just like
yeah. And we learned a lot about how you're not supposed to drive a Jeep or a trailer down those hills there. I don't someone asked me if you require a CDL, and I'm like, I don't think I know it doesn't require CDL because the truck I'm driving is just an F-350, but it should require something.
I've determined that there should be something here for somebody to teach me something about
Pope
how to
just
plan.
got trailer driving 101 from hell.
Yeah.
At night. Like, we
At
were
night.
supposed to get there at like 9:30. We ended up getting there at like midnight.
And one of the things that it doesn't let you know when you're picking your GPS off your phone, and we'll get into that in a second, but it doesn't know how long your vehicle is. It assumes you're in a sedan that can go anywhere. And so it took us down this canyon that I glance at the sign as I'm going, and I notice it specifically says no semis. And it looked like it said no trucks with a trailer over a certain length, but I didn't see what the length was because it was night and I was just driving past it, and I didn't know.
And there's no way out. Like, you can't go out.
Yeah. So we're going down this canyon, and I swear at some points in time, both trailer tires are on the side of the road, both sides of the road at the same time as we're going around. I was taking those turns so slow.
It was like a 55
so
mile
wide
an hour road that we were taking at like 10.
What car can go 55 down that?
I have no idea. And it was dark. It was dark.
And then the turns are like slow down to 10, and I'm like, yeah, you damn right, you got to slow down to 10. And then we get to Uncle Tom's cabin at like 11 o'clock or something.
No, it was midnight.
Or close to midnight.
We were supposed to get there at 9:30. It was midnight.
Yeah, and he was waiting. The guy was waiting for us. And
so great. That is one cool place if you...
Yeah, that's a cool place. You can park your trailer there during these events for like $30 for 3 or 4 nights, or $60 for a week or something like that. You can.
Oh, nice.
And you can camp for free with Jeepers Jamboree. That was really cool. They a lot of people will trailer in there and then camp and then wake up in the morning and go on the trail. So that's a really good place to stay. And they are just awesome.
Like we get there really late. He helps us get our navigation going by turning on the Starlink at the place.
We realized that we couldn't get to the Airbnb because we didn't have service to figure out how to get to the Airbnb.
Yeah. And we tell him which way we came. He was telling us about some people from Canada that came in from the north from I-80 and how scary that was and how much they... and like, we just did that same damn thing.
And he's like, that's the way you came? No wonder it's midnight.
Yeah, it took way longer. We had to stop a couple times because the brakes are starting to get hot. And,
oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Just to breathe.
Yeah, and I had to... Yeah, just to breathe, because it's white knuckle driving if you've never done it before.
He had blisters all over both hands.
Yeah, and I hadn't even driven on the Rubicon yet. And so it was stressful, man. I would recommend doing a little bit more research and practice, and maybe Google or watch some videos on YouTube on how to drive mountain passes by real truckers.
They're probably going to tell you that you got to go back to paper maps and MapQuest.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We did find so our friend Josh Rubistina, he's been on this before.
We're aware of him.
He's actually recommended an RV Garmin that you could use, which has RV friendly routes. You tell it how long your vehicle is, and it will make sure you find gas stations that are RV and truck friendly. And that would have been worth its weight in gold during that trip. It is a nightmare. We were like, why the fuck can't we find any trailer friendly gas stations after Reno?
I know, we're like sitting there
because you're not supposed to go that fucking way. That's why.
Nobody goes that way to Reno.
And we did find a couple of gas stations that we could fit a trailer into. We actually scouted one out with our Jeeps before we drove up.
I even called him. I'm like, can you get a semi truck into your gas station? He's like, yeah, I've seen it happen. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I've seen it happen. Fuck. I don't know if that's the kind of...
Well, it's a pull through, so like at least you can pull through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's tall enough. As long as it's tall enough and you can pull through and you're not like, there's not a building in front of the gas pumps, then you're good.
Yeah,
These are all things we learned this weekend. This was a great...
And don't ever forget that you need like 3 lanes to turn. A total of 3.
We got But anyway, so we got the trailer there, and then we started the Rubicon, and it was great. And the Jeepers Jamboree event is unreal. Like, these people have this dialed. It's like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, they have 420 volunteers. There was 3,800 people there this year.
So
They
we have a
cooked-
story about a volunteer tonight too.
What?
Did you guys hear about that?
Oh yeah, the guy that got lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of
that
our
was
stories for
crazy
tonight.
too. Yeah, so we can talk about that too, because he was found. Like, that was nuts too. Like, he was an older man and he was confused. It was like a whole thing. But yeah, like, but they have 420 volunteers. They, like, literally, that place runs like clockwork. Like, it's the coolest. Like, you feel like you're at summer camp. Like, you're literally, they have like a bell when they ring for dinner, and like people come from everywhere, and you're packed into that area. I wish we had like a drone shot of like that area and all the camping that was going on. It was
Like,
just
what do you have to
super
take care of as far as like meals and stuff? Is that just all? Do they take care of all
They
that for
do
you?
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they also have mechanics there and they will fly. They will helicopter parts in if they don't have it for you.
Yeah.
Like, they literally take care of absolutely everything. There's bathrooms everywhere. Everybody talks about bringing a toilet, but I think, like, I mean, there is bathrooms on the trail the whole way.
I don't know, guys. I am actually setting up my own shitter next time.
Well, the
And then
last
I'm gonna-
day they
I'm
were
gonna-
bad.
I'm gonna
Well, are
charge
you a
people to
private
use
shitter
it.
though? Are you the kind of person that can't shit in
Man,
public?
the thing about it is that you're in an outhouse and it's scary. It feels like it's gonna tip over at any point in time. Like I'm just
There
afraid.
was a hornet's nest in
There
one
was a
of
hornet's nest in one of them. There was a frog living in one of them.
them.
So you can't really spend a lot of time in there. And I really think I could charge people like $5 a head or a dump or however you want to measure it.
For your
To go in
groomed
there.
and maintained
Yeah. You just have to
bathroom.
take your own doggy bag back to your camp. And that's
Are you going to offer colognes and mints outside as well on the
we should
table?
definitely have like some of that spray, that
snow
the poopery spray,
So the
right?
poopery spray. Yeah. Holy
Oh
shit,
man,
that's
it was. They got dangerously full,
They did.
and
Guy
but they actually have a truck that drives the Rubicon with big ass tank on it.
And it clears all
And
these
they
out.
clean
They're
these
along
out in the middle of the
entire
Rubicon.
route of the Rubicon, not just at not at Rubicon Springs only.
Yeah.
The whole time you're on the Rubicon, there is like a bathroom. Like,
So there's just a
You're
shit
everywhere.
truck that just runs up and down the Rubicon all summer.
Yeah, and there's a little drip stain all down the Rubicon
oh
from
my gosh.
from the shit truck.
Whatever.
No, that's the
Shut
Dave
up.
Matthews bus as it goes through Chicago. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it was really cool. They do a really killer job.
Yeah, it
They
was
feed you, breakfast,
if
lunch,
you-
and dinner, and then they have
a-
bar.
The bar you have to pay for,
Yeah.
but all the donations go for these scholarships and stuff that they're setting up. All the alcohol that they have in the bar has been provided by somebody. It's been donated.
Everything.
Nice.
So everything that they make on it.
goes towards like all kinds of different charities and then different scholarships that they offer for people. So it's like, and literally 50% of the people, if you ask them, they've been there 10 more times. Like, it's like a family that you're being like brought into that has been doing this for
40% of the people was their first time on the Rubicon, first time at Jeepers Jamboree,
and then there was like 25% was like the first time ever.
first time
wheeling.
ever wheeling.
They just bought a Jeep and they came on Jeepers Jamboree, and they took care of
Wow.
them too.
Yeah, they have spotters on the trail to help you get through
Rock
it fast.
rollers
They
for
call them
the-
rock rollers, and they're all throughout the Rubicon at every obstacle. There's a guy stationed there, and some of them are like, "I've been at this spot for 7 years,"
Yeah.
and they just but they help you get through it as fast as possible. They've seen every kind of vehicle go through it. They know exactly where to put your tires, and they'll get you through fast. And it's kind of nice because you get, you get through those hard parts without spending a lot of time or breaking your vehicle. It's really nice. On the flip side of it,
Yeah.
if you like to feel it out and do it yourself, it's kind of not that kind of thing.
But we
They want
only
you to
did
get
that
through
the
it.
last day.
Yeah.
But the first day
First day we did our own
Yeah,
shit. Like
that
we
was
were
fun.
out by ourselves, no spotters, just us
But
playing around and
it's
having
great
fun.
because you can get everybody through. They get
Mhm.
everybody through. They have mechanics to fix you. They are gonna like feed you. They're gonna take care of you. and you're gonna have a really good time. They have like cornhole competitions. They have like water
I mean,
holes to just soak
It's just
in.
nice. It's nice to not have to worry about a lot while you're on
Yeah.
it, while you're
Like
doing
they
all that.
broke a U-joint on the Moto-Built Gladiator, and Bender was able to go down to the parts tent, the mechanics tent, with the old one, and they found him a new one, and they was able to buy it, and they offered him a ridiculously low price to pay for that. They gave him the whole axle, not just the U-joint, just the whole axle. And they gave him a ridiculously low price for it, and he said, "I refuse to pay less than, like $100 more than they told him to pay."
Wow.
So, and it was, it all, like I said, it all goes for a good cause. The parts are donated too, and they can get this stuff taken care of for you. And I don't know if they if it's always free at the 10. I was kind of unclear on that, if it's like free or like
I
usually
think the
gets free, labor's free,
and then,
but
like they have really cheap parts, and they'll like
Oh.
help. They're just gonna get you taken care of.
Yeah. So I'm kind of unclear. Like, I'm under the understanding, like if you don't have money to fix it, they'll still fix it for you anyway. But
Yeah, they're gonna get everybody off. Like
They're not going to leave a Jeep on the trail.
But we
we'll see. See you guys.
We are, all of our group could definitely pay for an axle shaft if we broke it. So it was kind of worth it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a good deal.
We had a great time with it. We brought our own snacks for camp. We brought our own booze for camp. But we did actually buy some stuff at the bar, because while you're standing there in line waiting for dinner, it's a great thing to grab a couple cocktails and start getting a little woke up.
Yeah.
Woke up, he says. All right.
It's been a long, it was a great trip. It was beautiful and wonderful, and I don't know. I would recommend it to absolutely anyone. And then they have Jeepers Jamboree, and then they were preparing. So this week, I think it's this week or next week. It's Jeep Jamboree, and it's brought on by the same people, and that's the one that they have 200 kids coming.
Yeah.
And they have like arts and crafts and like nature hikes, and like I think Tread Lightly's going in and teaching the kids like how to maintain and care for the land. And
we did an episode with Jeep Jamboree USA that explained the relationship and the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this is Jeepers Jamboree's Jeep Jamboree, not Jeep Jamboree USA's Jeep Jamboree.
Jesus Christ.
Go
We're
back
need
and listen to our Jeep Jamboree
PowerPoint
USA
presentation.
episode too.
Right. But they are, but the Jeep Jamboree for...
They work. You can tell they work together. Their logos are together on all the things they've built to make this place really rad. They've donated a lot of stuff to Rubicon Springs. You can tell that they put in.
They built a kitchen, and it was fun.
Like they've definitely made this into like a resort, but it's freaking free. If you're not there, I guess there's like day use fees and stuff that you can do. But really, you drive up there in the middle of not one of these jamborees, and it's wide open for you to use, and you can go cook your shit and the stuff, and whatever's open you can go use. There's like a couple of areas that are people's private land, and they put up signs and says, "Please respect our private land. We're sharing the rest of this area with you."
Right.
And
people seem to
really respect their private land, and I thought that the trade-off is wonderful. You guys have your nice area, and you give us the rest of the, I don't know how many acres it was it 300 something acres of space. Crazy. All we camped in a spot called the Dirty Dozens, and it was across a stream, so we had to maneuver climbing across a waterfall and a rope bridge thing to get it all the way across.
Or we had to go all the way around. But we could wake up in the morning and go shower, like literally just rinse off in a waterfall. That was terrible.
Oh, that's fun.
The waterfall was
every morning.
There's a waterfall right by our camp, so you can go take a little bath over there. And
that's really cool.
It was like one of the coolest. Yeah, it was just awesome.
We were kind of out of the big noise. We walked through the big noise on our way to Rubicon Springs to get to the main central camp.
Yeah.
We were out in the outskirts.
And it was so nice because you had like your privacy, and then you could go play when you wanted to.
That's that's what I ended up doing it all for fun. I was out the outskirts, and then I wandered my way inside.
That's
awesome.
This is the first thing that's similar to overlanding that you could say Jam of the Misfits done since we got our Jeeps.
Now officially, we did an overlanding trip.
We did an overlanding trip.
I mean, I think that's considered an overlanding trip. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a catered overlanding trip, but it's an overlanding trip.
yeah, it's catered.
Well,
It's
just the first night we cooked hot dogs, but actually just Aaron cooked
Aaron
us hot
cooked.
dogs.
Aaron cooked them on a scuttle for us.
So
All right.
Yeah, it was
we
fun.
were planning on going the first day, and then we were told that that's a good idea. So we were like, okay, more days. That sounds great. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's spend an extra day on the trail. That sounds fun. It was well worth it. We would do it again.
All right.
We definitely do the trip with our friends and not a big event again too. But I think that there was just something really rad about doing Jeepers Jamboree with all the people there.
It was really fun.
Maybe next time we go, we won't be incognito. We'll tell them who we are. But we were Pope and Randy instead of Gem and the Misfit, and it was kind of fun.
Yeah, we just parked.
Nice.
Well, I mean, we're never like, yeah, but
We're not trying to stay hidden, but we were kind of like
I just
every event we go to, we're just kind of. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but people know who we are and they always want to say hi, and it's a great thing.
it's fun.
Right.
But we didn't know any of these people, and I just wanted to meet
Yeah,
them.
we didn't know any of these people. We were meeting people as ourselves. Like we met a lot of industry people, and then all of a sudden they see us driving off. Like, oh, you're Gem and the Misfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's because our Jeeps are well known, but they were hidden, and we weren't wearing like giant logos that says, "Hi, we're Gem and the Misfit. Here's a picture of my Jeep on my T-shirt."
No, we were just playing in waterfalls.
Playing in
Well, it was
waterfalls.
this really cool waterfall where like we were on two tubes, and it kept sucking. It would suck you into the waterfall, and then it would shoot you out the other side, and then he would get sucked into the waterfall. We sat and just spun for a little while. That was like probably my favorite moment. The whole
Yeah.
trail.
Were
So
you
good.
inebriated at that time, or were you?
Yeah, I had a lot of cocktails at that
Oh
point.
yeah,
and it was like
we
perfect.
tried to stay pretty inebriated most of the time.
It was a good time.
I feel like if you're camping, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
and
going
you're
anywhere.
not going anywhere. We're not going driving anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
As long
until the
as I
next
can-
morning. By that,
as long as I can like climb over these rocks to get to one point A to point B, I think I'll be all right.
yeah, there you go.
And there was a lot of rock climbing. I think I averaged like fucking 14,000 steps every day walking back and forth to the camp.
But we got better at it.
Yeah, every
And
time
it
was
looked
faster.
familiar though, because we went a different way every single time. So it was
Again,
kind of
was
like,
that the alcohol, or just because you
yeah,
wanted to go a
probably.
different
I was
way?
like, well, this
Okay.
looks familiar. I know I've been here before, but I don't know if it's right.
Like I'm like, oh, last time I saw a bunch of people go down that way, and I followed them. I think that worked out, and then I'm like,
I'm
oh
sure
wait,
that's
maybe it
where
was
they're
over
at.
here.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I highly recommend you if you get a chance to do that trip. It's well worth it. It's around $700 a person when all said and done for your 3 days out on the trail with all the food.
It's really not
Next
bad,
year,
though.
Mark. Next year. Mark's listening, and I'm just saying next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yes.
It's not. I mean, if you think about how they're feeding you 3 meals a day, there's entertainment. There's and the trail's blocked off for people who aren't participants. Like you're basically you're a participant and you're showing up here. You don't get to just show up at the Rubicon Springs and start hanging out with people.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun once you set up and you're there. Just dive in and enjoy. Go out and meet people. Go out and say hi.
Well, or just go get in a tube, or like
Go get in a tube and
just
sit in
go
the water.
bump into people. That's kind of how we
That
made friends.
that was a lot of fun too. We found where a lot of people were hanging out, and we were just bumping around into people. We were
You just kind of
–
follow the current and just bump into people who are like, "Oh,
And
hi,
just
what's your
run.
name?"
Oh, hi, how's it going?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, they're doing the same thing too, because you can't. I mean, unless you paddle, you're not
Yeah.
going to be like.
we didn't bring paddles, so if we wanted to go anywhere,
It was kind of like a struggle, so you just kind of let the current just take you wherever it was, and everybody was doing the same thing. So you're like, "Oh, hi, new friends. How are you?"
there was people out there with little motorized
No, they had the right
air
idea.
air toys that they were riding on.
There was like a dinosaur with a motor, and I was like,
man, that guy.
know what you're
They're
doing.
riding like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and
It's ridiculous.
And has Pope already ordered one?
Well, I've already looked up how much the motors are to add to any other tube. You can actually get them for $50 on Amazon, and they're like a little motor, and it's got like a little remote thing, and you just kind of motor around, and it's just strong enough to put. I mean, there's not a strong current,
Right.
You're just kind of like moving around. So it just needs a little teeny propeller. And I watched the dinosaur go pretty far on that thing. That's what she told me. She bought the dinosaur and then she added the little motor from Amazon, and I've already looked them up. I'm getting one.
Yeah, we thought of a lot of different things. The water session is fun. You're going to spend a few hours there, but you're really going to spend most of your time at your camp.
So worry
And
about camp stuff. Don't
try to
worry
make
about food.
Try
Like,
to
I mean,
make your
bring,
camp
like, snacks
make your
and
camp
drinks.
fun. Bring whatever games and stuff. Make
Yeah.
your setup full. Bring your Jackery and your solar panels.
Yeah. You're going to be there for a
your
couple
Starlink.
days.
You're going to be there a couple of days. You might miss the world. We tried to be as detached as possible while we were there. It was a lot of fun.
It's nice to be able to jump on the Starlink and figure out the Airbnb for the next day. You know what I mean? Like borrow one of our friends but that's the nice thing is there's lots of people with them. So they're like, you don't want to like go hang out on their Starlink all the time. But if you need to go like call your mom, you know that you can, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
So
I mean, it's
Nice.
a new world. We're not going to have very many times where there's not somebody with internet nearby anymore. It's pretty much those days are are done now.
you have to make
Yeah,
that
I know.
decision, and that's what we did.
Yeah, we
Really
made the
nice.
decision consciously to leave I took the phone out to take pictures and videos. It wasn't hooked up to the internet until I needed it.
I'm waiting for the first hardtop insert where so it'll lay a Starlink will just lay flat in a hardtop insert for a Jeep.
There you go.
It's gonna happen.
So how was L for fun?
Let's talk about All for Fun.
All for Fun was fun.
So it lived up to its name.
It did. It did. I got to share something with you first because I don't know that I shared this with you guys before, but so I did a bunch of interviews and I'm currently editing all of them right now. I think I got 7 or 8 live interviews on there. But one of my interviewees was by far probably he is the youngest and he will probably be forever the youngest. So you got to check this out.
Okay.
Oh, I can't hear him.
I can't hear you. I don't think you can hear it. JD, can you hear us? Can you hear us, JD?
So that took a lot of editing. That particular episode took a lot of editing. Wyatt was a lot of fun to talk to. He was the first person out of all of the adults that came up to me. Oh, no sound on that, really?
Yeah, we couldn't hear you, and you couldn't hear us telling you.
We were trying to tell you that we couldn't hear you.
That's really unfortunate. All right, well, I'll have to share that next time.
We'll try it again.
I closed it already. That's all right. Oh. It's okay. But next time I'll get a better clip too. But so Wyatt's 10. And Wyatt was the first person out of the entire day to have the balls to sit down and chat with me and he chatted with me for 20 minutes and told me all about what he was and wasn't doing out there. And he's from Nashville, Tennessee, big Windrock fan. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So is he a driver?
He was not a driver yet. Okay. He's got 5 years before he can get on there. And then Colorado's kind of strict about that when it comes to underage driving, even on forest roads.
Okay.
Plus he's at an event, so I don't think anybody's going to let him do it. But there were enough kids there. He was having a good time, I think. And then I chatted with a bunch of other folks, a few of the folks from All for Fun, some of the folks that won things like the show and shine and things like that. But it was really good. I had a good time doing that, and I think that we're recording live again. It'll be easy to do next time, so it worked out really well. And then as far as the trails, I didn't break anything. I lucked out, and because I chose a trail called Wheeler Lake as my first one, and I really put. Let's see here. I really put I almost put it into the rocks. and I don't know other good way to put that. I should pull it up here real quick. Let's see. Where's mine? Doo-doo. All right, so if you haven't seen this, this is the V notch on Wheeler Lake, and unfortunately my spotter is not doing a really great spotting job. And so I need to go.
I was gonna ask if you were being spotted.
I am.
Ow.
So I should have been told to go driver there, and I wasn't. And luckily, there's a pocket there, and I came about this close to dropping a pillar on that rock. So that was how I started my day. I was not. I don't want to do that one again.
What? That looks like fun. Go back and do it again.
Oh. Yeah, you should have just been a little bit further driver. Your back end should have been over more too.
But you'll know next time.
Yeah. Well, and I know the person in front of me got herself Austin powered, and she had managed to wedge herself in that they had to winch her out, and I probably got in my head about that too. So it was a fun trip though. I really enjoyed it. It was good. We camped at the rodeo ground, so it wasn't exactly exciting camping experience, but it was cool to hang out with everybody. And yeah, I think we'll do that again next year. I think we had a really, really great time. Interesting.
That could have been a lot worse.
What'd you say?
They said that could have been a lot worse.
Oh, the whole thing could have been a lot worse. So the thing about Wheeler Lake is it beats you up. Like there's this V notch, there's a harder line on the other side of that. And then you get towards the end of it, and there's something called Bowling Ball Hill, and it's just constant. It's just rocks all the way to the top, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous up at the top of it. But there's other places I want to check out.
Spot all 4 tires on those things, and make sure that everybody's like, you fell in the front, but I think you fell in the back too at the same time.
Yeah, I did, because it wasn't lined up pretty well.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous, but it's all it's just constant
like baby
rocks.
Boulders.
Yep, and for 35s and a 2.5-inch lift, there's a lot of hitting. I hit a lot on that one. So yeah, so it was good. I kind of kept it easy the other couple of days that I was there. I did a couple scout routes for Trails Off Road. And then Wednesday was the day of the vendor show and the day that I recorded. So I was busy all that day. And then I came home on Thursday. So next year I'll try to go for the majority of the thing. I don't know that they've announced where it's going to be yet, but I think it's going to be Ure. So which would be cool. Fun. Yeah, but
they do it the same time every year.
Yeah, roughly the same time every year. They just kind of switch between 4 main places in Colorado. Although I think they're getting some pressure to start maybe branching out a little bit and adding some new spots to that. So, I mean, they've been doing this for 58 years. So,
it's great. It's so fun to do events. That's what was so cool about Jeepers, is it was 72 years of history. And they even had one night where they did a movie where they showed Model Ts on the freaking Rubicon.
That's amazing. So, it was the people in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the people. It was fun to do the group runs. You guys know me. I'm a person who does a lot of solo wheeling, so it was fun to do group runs. And granted, I'm lucky I didn't break anything, but I did learn some stuff about the Jeep and stuff. That's not a trail that I would normally do if I didn't have other people with me. So, yeah.
So what trails are you going to trust us? What trails are you going to trust us on in Trail Hero?
Shit, I don't know about that yet.
I think I want to put together a double Sammy run.
I don't know. I think it's more of a West Rim.
West Rim would be a good warm up run, and then if you do good on West Rim, then
He
we go
would
double Sandy.
have a heart attack if you took him on.
His Jeep meets the requirements, doesn't it?
It meets the requirements. I 100% believe that he can do it. I just think that we like. Okay, so this is my thought.
All right, here we go.
This is how I described it on the Rubicon to that guy.
No,
I want to take Dirty Desert Fox and JD
I know. I want to take him on, but
on
let's-
double
let's-
Sandy.
But we start.
This is how it
like
starts.
little,
This is
like,
the
you
slow
have to
prep.
Start like
Uh-huh.
yeah, you have to start little. Like you have to like it. Would you like me to describe it the way I would describe the guy on the Rubicon?
Yeah.
So you can't start out with 6 anal beads.
Dateline Yuma, Arizona. The Bureau of Land Management in Arizona has extended the comment period for the Yuma East Travel Management Plan until August 10th. This plan could close over 500 miles of routes out of the 1,300 miles currently available, making input crucial. The BLM manages over 700,000 acres in this project area, and they proposed 4 alternatives. Alternative A maintains the current routes, B focuses on resource, closes the most, C is a quote-unquote balanced approach, and D emphasizes access but still closes 227 miles and limits another 87. It's essential to review the maps and identify any routes marked for closure. Your comments can help keep these trails open. The final decision is expected by December 2024, with changes potentially starting in early 2025. Dateline, Grandview area of southwestern Idaho. Thanks to the dedicated efforts and the incredible support of members, the BRC saved 1,300 plus miles of trails in the Grandview area of southwestern Idaho. Earlier this year, the BLM had proposed a plan to close 65% of these popular routes. The BRC team traveled multiple times to train local dirt bike leaders on effective advocacy. They even had recently retired BLM friend provide training at the Boise Off-Road Expo. With the support of the Idaho congressional delegation, the BLM withdrew the proposal and committed to a new analysis project. This is a huge victory for motorized access in the Oahe region, but the work isn't over. The BRC will continue to work with the BLM office to try to develop a fair plan. Stay tuned for more updates, more ways to get involved. And now, back to the show.
Would you like me to describe it the way I would describe the guy on the Rubicon?
Yeah.
So you can't start out with 6 anal beads. Like you need one first. You start slow.
That came out of Randy's mouth.
You can't shove the whole fist in and expect
Nope.
somebody to like it.
Yeah, nope, you got to ease it.
Done. And like it's a West Rim. Like
Gotta mark that one.
You
Jesus.
Start him out with 1 anal
You
bead.
can't like, shove the whole thing in, like, and expect him to have a good time. You can end the week out on Double Sammy. I think that that's a really cool trail, and like we can end off in him going up the chute because anybody can go up the chute if you like. It's basically a highway as long as you're on the right line. And certain wheelbases are definitely harder than others. But
Okay.
but your wheelbase, you'll just walk right over it. But like, yeah, we need to start you out slow. I was just curious,
See,
like how much you're.
I trust
us
Randy.
here.
I'm worried about what Pope's going to do to me. Like, I'm worried Pope's is going to influence me into some bad decisions.
Pope talks a big talk, but he's more concerned about hurting your rig. Like he's not going to let you
fair enough.
jack. He'll jack up his rig 10 times over, but he's not going to jack up.
He's not
your
going to
rig.
jack somebody else's up. Okay. And as side note, by the way, I think I'm going to reach out to Todd with Trails Off Road and suggest that we switch out our rating system for an anal bead system, just for an anal bead rating system.
Yeah, like this is like 1 anal bead. This is
1 anal bead. This is 2. Oh, good Lord, we got to stop. All right.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, we don't need to shove it all in at once. Like, we can get there with you. Like, if that's like.
Thank you for doubling down on it. Yes. Okay. All right.
Well, I was explaining to the one guy because we were looking at all these blow up things for the Rubicon, and we ended up just bringing tubes. And the guy the guy was like, well, and I was going to bring like snow cones. We had like a whole plan. And then I was like, you know what? We can start with 1 anal bead. And by the end, like in 5 years, we can be at the Parthenon in the middle. Like we don't need to come with 6 anal beads to start with the whole trip. And this is how we like ended up making a band called Bob. bag of balls because I am the garbage bag blowing in the wind, and somehow there's anal beads. So it's Bob, bag of balls. That and it went right
Wow.
into there. That's how it happened.
Wow.
This is how Rubicon
all
was.
right.
It was amazing. It was like
Shout out to Garth.
shout out to Garth.
Shout out to Garth and the anal beads.
Yes.
All right.
Were they with who? Were they with Synergy?
Somebody. They were a good time though. They were fun as hell.
Gotta watch out for those prolapse rated trails.
Prolapse rated trails.
Jesus Christ, Nate. Oh boy. I can't with these people. I can't. These are our fans, folks.
Well, no, this
All right.
is the thing, you know. We start slow. It's good.
Yep.
You know what show you're listening to.
Yeah.
You're 40
You've
minutes in.
already-
You know
you've
what show
already
you're
been-
listening to.
You're up to like 6 now, guys. You've
Yeah,
already been through
You're
1 or
already
2.
at the 6. You guys are pros. You're teaching the
Well,
you're
we've-
teaching the younger
How many
ones.
episodes are we in? Like, I mean, everybody
This is-
here is like had enough.
It's like 52, 53. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're up there, man. Most shows don't get past 4, so feel proud. All right. Well, so yes, that's all I got in terms of that. That episode for the All for Fun stuff should be up hopefully in the next week or 2 weeks maybe max. We got some interviews next week, so we're going to be talking with Rich from Trail Hero, and then
Looking forward to that
Thursday
one. That'll
I
be fun.
think it is. Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. And then we're going to talk with Josh from Lava Box, which if you're not familiar with, it's one of the original companies that made the ammo can propane boxes.
Oh yeah, we have one of those, and we
Yeah.
brought it on the Rubicon, and we didn't bring the right propane canister.
Oh,
I'm so mad because the videos I saw were small ones, and I looked at the video again, and they had an adapter on it. I was like, so I brought a whole bunch of the little cans, thinking, and I didn't look at the adapter.
And the fun thing is, we have adapters to go the other direction.
Yeah,
for
we
our-
do.
for our
Yeah.
buddy heaters.
oh, okay,
We-
yeah.
that we didn't bring, and so it
Yep.
would have been
It would have been really cool. I
like
bet.
we it was not cold there. We did not need a buddy heater. We actually had a ceiling fan in our tent. We're so bougie.
Okay, that if anybody's looking for a camping upgrade, get the $12 fan off of Amazon that is solar powered, and just put it in the top of your tent,
Yep.
and you will like have a whole nother experience. It just keeps the air circulating.
At the lowest setting, it'll run the fan for like 28 hours.
Yeah,
Nice.
And
it
if,
was
and if you just need like it to
perfect.
cool things down real fast, you crank
I
it up
just
to the
needed
highest setting for a few
airflow.
minutes.
like the wind wasn't blowing enough, so it
Mm-hmm.
was like we unzipped the things, but just to keep that air flowing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
pro tip: that was one of the best things. The $12 solar fan off of,
And it
Amazon.
has a light on it too. It's not it's not that bright, but
No. But it worked. It was a light and a
Just
fan.
enough
and
to
that's
get up
all
when you
it
had to
needed
pee in the
be.
middle of the night.
Yeah, we just hooked it on to the thing.
yeah. And then when we ran out of battery, we just charged it on our Jackery. So it also had
Yeah,
solar.
my
It
Jackery
probably
got a
would
lot
have
of use
charged
this week.
itself. Yeah, those things
Yeah.
are useful. You forget how much. What did people do before we had electricity? We just take around with this.
I really don't know. Dark ages, my friend. Dark ages. They'll probably tell us they had more fun.
We used to wind our watches. We didn't need to.
We didn't have none of these fancy
All right.
self-winding watches.
Our cameras didn't have phones on them.
No shit. I had a whole conversation about that today with somebody about the fact that I couldn't. My 20s could not have existed with phones. Anyway, all right. So that is all I've got for updates for me. That's probably enough, man. We're already 45 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten to any kind of actual business.
Hell yeah.
Um,
There's our updates.
we had a new review pop in. It came in July 17th. I don't know how there's a delay when people put it in Apple versus when I get it. So BKO94 gave us a 5-star. Doesn't have to be 5-star, just give us a review. I don't get to be out on the trail as much as I want to. So this crew has been a good way to scratch that itch when I'm stuck using the Bronco to commute instead of wheel. Great way to stay informed on issues as well. And the episodes with Ben from BRC are always interesting. Well, thank you very much. And as a reminder, send me your contact information so that I can send you some stickers and get you shit out in the mail. And then add you to our swag pack at 30 reviews. So that's 18. So we're closer. We're closer now. Just 12 away. 12 away, and I start giving shit away, folks. And then I feel like we can get more shit to get away. So if you're a business out there and you're listening to this and you want to get in on that, just let me know. Hit me up and I'll add crap from you to that too. I got some extra stuff from this weekend that I added to it. So yeah. Let's see here. What else? Oh, we got a voicemail from our Nathan from our intern, so we should play that. Let's see here.
God, you're more annoying than a creative voicemail message.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beach.
Joe is on a vacation far away.
Yo, 148, 3 to the 3 to the 6 to the 9, representing the ABQ.
Oh, shit.
Hey, guess who's back? Missed a couple of the live shows there and one of my call-ins due to hanging out on a houseboat on a lake there with almost non-existent cell service, but I ain't gonna lie, being unplugged there for a little bit was kind of nice. We had a houseboat for a week that we had a pontoon with, which was nice, and we ended up even renting a jet ski one day we were down there. So all in all, it was amazing family vacation, kind of unwind and forget about the rest of the world there for a moment. I did stay caught up on my podcast while everyone else was asleep there, at night. But to do that, I actually had to, on occasion, we'd make a run to Walmart to pick up, water and other supplies and stuff. And that's right, I have to download the podcast because there was definitely no service at the lake to be doing that. But had an amazing time. So question for the week is, what do Yins do for, fun leisure activities outside of the off-road world? When you step away from the mud and the dirt and the rocks there for a little bit and unwind, what kind of other hobbies are y'all into that helps you relax a little bit? That's really all I had right now. Hopefully I can join you guys for the live show here on Friday and hear what your thoughts are. Thanks. Hey, it's me again. Bet you wouldn't have guessed that. Calling back in. Got another proud dad brag here today. My oldest, she went and passed her driver's license test today, so, there goes my insurance premiums right out the window, but I'm definitely proud of her. Unfortunately, she would have passed it on the first go-round, but she had a test instructor, evaluator, whatever you call them at the DMV, I guess, an old curmudgeonly lady who hated her TJ so bad she never stood a chance of passing her driver's test. Actually, to the point where when it was over, they never flat out told her anything about it. My wife had the pressure to be like, hey, so what's going on? And then they told her she failed. Then they had to fight to find out why she failed. And then eventually they said, she backed up 4 times on the parallel parking, which I know from the practice she was never even close to having that many, shimmies to get into the spot. I mean, plus it's a freaking TJ. You could parallel park almost 2 of them in that spot.
Right.
But this lady was so against the Jeep when they went out. Apparently, she complained that she'd have to get in it and it would hurt her back. So my daughter actually held the door for her so she could use it for support when she got in and out of the vehicle. Apparently complained the whole time during the test about the vehicle and it not being a good vehicle for a teenager. So my
Great
wife
vehicle
found out
for a
afterwards,
teenager.
she's like, hey,
Great
so what's going on about
Yeah.
this? Like, the lady literally told my wife and my daughter that the TJ was a terrible vehicle for a teenager and it was a death trap because it didn't have power steering, which it actually does have power steering. The tires were too big, which they're only 31s. And, now I'm blanking on it doesn't, the most ridiculous one, it didn't have a backup camera. So I guess none of us survived driving, before 2012, when we didn't have backup cameras and we all driving death traps around.
Christ.
It was insane. It was just nuts, the story. My wife ended up having to file
How
a
old
complaint
was
with
this
the
driver's
supervisor
ed
because this lady
teacher
was so,
thing? Was they
unhinged
like
about this
24?
vehicle.
Fuck, I don't.
Literally suggested that we buy smaller tires for it and all this crazy shit. So, I just wanted
Who the
to
hell?
call in to get y'all opinion on the podcast.
Maybe isn't
I
that
know
stuff?
off-road
Car
vehicles
tires
aren't
are
for everybody,
31s.
but I didn't know if any of you ever ran into a situation where somebody was like so unrealistically opposed to your vehicle that they allowed it to basically cloud all judgment, and there was no reasoning with them. Like, basically, you were dead to them because of the type of vehicle you enjoyed driving. The first time, I get it. People are like, oh, you waste gas, you do that. I can't.
No one on my side, but I've done that to a lot of Toyota people.
Oh my god, yeah. So
that's terrible. And I think, first of all, any vehicle with a steel bumper is a good vehicle for a teenager, especially if it's under $5,000.
I have a question though. Was a backup cam an option on the TJ?
No.
Oh my god, I don't it wasn't even an option on most JKs.
Who are these privileged people buying their kids a brand new car with a backup cam? Like,
Brian
Jesus.
said her Model T came with a backup.
That are working at right. Oh my god. Yeah. And she's working at the fucking DMV. So you're not exactly the poster child for good decision making.
Oh, so yeah, about that. My mom,
Randy's mom used to do that for a living.
Worked at the DMV, and she also worked at. This is funny.
I feel terrible.
So you could say whatever you want. My mom was an examiner, and she worked with CDL licensing and all kinds of stuff. She worked for them for probably 30 years. She retired with the state of Utah doing that. And so it's funny listening to his story because my mom was the one who would get in with you and test you when you drove.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, but my mom was always the one that everybody was so excited to get because she's so friendly and so nice. And I was even in high school, I would go to the DMV or to the CDL licensing place, and I would hang out with my mom and I would do the pictures but she worked at CDL, so it was all the truck drivers. And it'd be like, smile pretty. And I'd make them take pictures of stuff like that. And it was when you would take the picture and then you'd pull it out of the camera and then you'd put it into the cutting machine and you'd cut it and you'd have to make the whole driver's license. And so it was really funny because I was sitting there thinking about it, and there was so many examiners at my mom's work that were that lady. I know who she was with. That lady, there was a couple of really bitchy women that were mean to everybody, and nobody wanted them as their tester.
Sounds like my mom was there.
That's funny. My mom's the best, though. My mom was always the one that they were like, "Oh, okay, Sam can help me."
My mom hates our Jeeps so much. She hated it when we bought them. She hated the whole idea of them.
My baby's
in a
death trap.
Yeah. And they all ended up on the roof, and we were just fine.
She was hoping that we would she thought that when they said that Jem was totaled, that they were taking her.
Yeah, she was hoping that when it was totaled, it was over.
Oh, she was excited.
She thought it was over.
She's like, oh, thank God.
And I'm like, no, this is good for me. Now, she's paid off and everything's great. Yeah. No, it was pretty funny. She was super bummed when she heard we bought her back.
My God, that's funny.
Yeah. I was like, if you
I'm
guys 100% had enough yet?
No,
not yet.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure if my mom was still with me, I would not have approval for this.
My point is that I could see that lady at the DMV being my mother for sure. Those are the things she would complain about.
Yeah,
my tires, too big of tires.
Yeah, but your tires are too big.
For some people.
Your tires are too big.
Oh, shit, here we go.
My car's a normal Jeep. Normal size Jeep.
No, I am a normal size Jeep, sir. I am the average. I'm the average size.
What was his other question?
Cool. The other question was, what do you do when it's not jeeping to relax, other than swim through a circular thing in the spring?
I do some gardening, but you know what? This trip actually made us want to start camping again. Like, I actually think that we were huge campers before we were wheelers. Like, that's what, I mean, I had a
We
Jeep
used to
before,
drive our Jeeps to go camping. That's
right, and that's
it
what
wasn't
we
called
doing.
overlanding yet.
We weren't overlanding like where we would go like multiple places. We would just go to a really cool campsite and set up for the week and just like fish and hike and do all the things in that area.
And it reminded us a lot of doing that with our families, except for this was with a giant group of friends.
Yeah, and I think that camping will be in our future a lot more often. Like, I think that we're gonna like we really miss just being like at camp with like a fire or like lights and just talking to people at night. I mean, it just, I don't know, the sitting around and bullshitting after hours, like just kind of having those
So when we're not off-roading, we're going to want to do other off-roading.
No, I love being in the mountains. I mean, I grew up in Utah, so for me, like being in the mountains is like where I find my most peace. And I think that like off-roading is something I do. I mean, I love my job. I'm a hairdresser and I like love art and different things like that. And I love my garden and my dogs, but I think I really, really miss camping. We haven't been camping since we started jeeping. Like, we've literally separated.
Off-roading doesn't, yeah.
Yeah. I watch pro wrestling when I'm not busy with off-roading, and I have a collection of pro wrestling belts. It's ridiculous. Before we got into off-roading, we were going on cruises. I was traveling to like Las Vegas to go see shows. I went to see Ring of Honor. We had friends that were in independent wrestling that lived near us. It was kind of a really fun environment for a while. But the reality is that you can nerd out on just about anything, and I can nerd out on off-roading just as much as I used to off-road on nerd out on wrestling. Sometimes play video games, but we haven't played video games in so fucking long. Like, ever since we bought the Jeeps, it's like, what's a video game? So, it's weird.
Yeah.
Mark just went to his first AEW show.
Oh, he did? I love AEW. We went to the Jericho Cruise. We went to the AEW show when it came to Salt Lake.
I took him.
The first day of COVID, we were at the AEW show in Salt Lake.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, so for his 40th birthday, I took him to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And the best picture I have of him is staring at the WrestleMania stage for the very first time. Like, he was like, I'll never get to go to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's your 40th birthday. Let's go to WrestleMania. And it was like probably one of the funnest things we've ever done. Like, it was an experience. There's like 100,000 people there. And it is like people watching, like you can't even describe. It was such an incredible experience.
They have a community too. And it is fascinating to go in and meet these people. And then you start running into people at different shows over and over again. And you're like, holy shit, that girl's here again. And all of a sudden you find out
there's a whole Grateful Dead situation going on there.
Yeah, then you find out that these people have names and they're like they're certain groupies and they belong to so and so, and you find and it's just it is so fun, and it's just it's a lot of the same type of shit that we do now, but we do it with off-roading, and it's off-roading is a much healthier group of people, so
yeah, no kidding.
We'll take it. But it's still a lot of fun. I still catch up on it when I turn it on in the background while I'm working. I don't make Randy watch it anymore. She used to be subjected to it every Monday night. And
I used to know a lot about wrestling, but I've decided that it's his thing, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah, she likes her garden and she likes hanging out and doing that shit. So
I could spend hours and hours and hours out there, like picking and growing and doing those kind of things and doing
very nice
stuff. But honestly, like I think this last trip made me want to like camp. Like, we need to start just having camp time, and we don't necessarily have to wheel all the time. Like, it would just be fun to like get a big group of people and like wheel up to a cool spot and just camp.
It's a good reminder to the both of you that you don't have to use your Jeeps to crawl rocks all the time.
Like we don't have to do stunt driving all the time.
Well, and we really enjoy it, but that doesn't need to consume our entire existence, because we really do. Like, I mean, it's if we have our Jeeps and they are ready to roll, like we're pretty much out every week.
Like, it reminded me of what regular people build their Jeeps to go do. And like we got sucked into this extreme rock crawling thing. It's not what everybody does. Most people like to do moderate rock crawling and go camping and take their Jeep somewhere that you can't take a normal car. And it reminded us that we used to love that. And we can enjoy a lot of that. So
I got a high five from Chris Jericho.
Nice.
That's a
nice.
That's our intern.
That's our intern.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
Video games, man. Like, it's if I have free time these days, I try to play some video games because I just don't get a lot of it.
What games do you play? Do you play World of Warcraft?
No, I must like these days. I'm a Legend of Zelda Switch player. Kind of, I want to play the stuff I can jump into and out of. Yeah. So
you played WoW for years.
I played WoW for like a decade.
I played it. My problem is it would have consumed me if I'd continued to play it. That is how much of a game
it does. And even if you try to like, I only need to play 2 hours a night, but then you find yourself like sneaking in an hour every day, and then on the weekends you're like, oh, I'm going to play all afternoon because I have all day to do nothing, and it just ends up consuming all of your time. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a community too. I just rather make friends that I can see in real life. The shit I do on the trail is crazier than the shit I used to do in video games, I think. So, I mean,
well, one of those things your mother would be more prefer you were doing.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
my mom would tolerate a lot of different types of
GTA,
GTA, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's Brian's.
That's a fun game too.
Stewart Valley.
Don't do that in real life. That's your disclaimer for today.
Forza. If I'm playing a video game it's about racing, it'll be something like Forza.
Yeah, we play Forza in this house too. Yeah,
or NBA Live is my other go-to when I play. But I haven't even updated my Xbox in a long time. I bet you if I turned it on right now, it wouldn't start until it got updated.
We have a Halo on here, and we have a GTA and a Shrewd Valley.
Ooh, Stardew Valley. What the hell is Stardew Valley?
Oh, Stardew Valley. I used to know what that was, but now I can't remember.
Nathan, what's
JD?
Stardew Valley?
You were wrong.
Jeez,
what am I wrong about? I don't know. What I'm sure that you are right, but what am I wrong about?
Probably something. I'm sure you're wrong about something in this podcast at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%. That's shit I try to get.
Lots of off-road vehicles in Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yes. It's always fun when Jen finds a Jeep. Rock crawling. Oh, okay. I'm not wrong. A little wrong. I could be a little wrong.
I have the steering wheel set up with the pedals and stuff. It's a lot of fun to play those games like that. So,
yeah. Oh wow, I did put a lot of news stories in here.
Yeah, are we ready for the news?
Yeah, we should really do that because we're an hour in. We should really do at least.
We gotta
do at least 2 of these.
One. I mean, we found out about it as we were getting gas at the sketchiest place we got gas at, but they were like, "You're on your way to Jamboree. Did you hear about the guy that's missing?"
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yep, let's talk about that.
Time for the Pope to read the news. Wait, we got the fucking Pope? Sorry, trailheads. I'm now told it's just a guy named Pope reading the news.
All right. So we just got back from Jeepers Jamboree, and this story is one of the things we heard about at a gas station on our way there. Jeepers Jamboree missing person. A 70-year-old man is safe and in good spirits after being missing for nearly a week on the Rubicon Trail in California. Warren Elliott, who got lost after walking away from his group last Friday, was found uninjured Wednesday morning near Hellhole Reservoir, 9 miles from where he was last seen. Okay,
like
who named this place?
A ways.
Yeah.
That's a ways. And there's fucking animals in this shit, right?
Well,
there's
Okay,
there
well, I'll tell
are
you that part in a second.
bears
Keep
and
going.
cats. Okay, anyway, so Elliot had been camping with a group doing trail rehab for the upcoming Jeepers Jamboree. Despite being familiar with the area, he lost his way after a walk. Surviving on river water and berries, Elliot was discovered by a person who texted 911, leading to his rescue by a California Highway Patrol helicopter. The Placers County Sheriff's Office, along with search teams from across the state, conducted a days-long search using drones and dog teams. Elliot was airlifted to Homewood Mountain Resort and reunited with his family amid cheers and clapping. The Jeepers Jamboree provided support during the search, expressing immense relief at Elliot's safe return.
Okay, go back to it. So, literally, they took and they did heat scanning to see if they could find him. And there's thousands of bears up there. Like thousands of bears. They were talking about that. But like literally everybody was talking about it. He just walked away from the group, and then he knows the area so well that they thought that he just went home. Like they literally just thought he went home because he lives in those woods. Like he knows that area and he knew it well enough to be able to literally survive on berries and lake water.
Wow.
And they were so relieved. They said he was a little bit delirious and like he decided to just go for a walk and got confused. He's 70.
Yeah.
But everybody was just so happy that they found him.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
And Jeepers Jamboree talked about that. That was like they lost one of their own during that, and they were happy to have him recovered. It was interesting. Yeah, that area is lots of animals. The cats will attack you. The bears will pretty much just try to steal your food, unless you're in the way of their food. We had a bear
come into our camp. Like came, and we were at Buck Island, and our friend Bender like opened his tent, and he saw him like trying to get the garbage. So we had the garbage hung up, and he scaled the tree and grabbed the garbage. No big deal. Like it was like, yeah, that's funny. And so he jumped down, and Bender looked over, and he's like, him and our friend Aaron, who's been on Motobill,
he's been on the show,
the podcast. He was like sitting there talking, and they were just talking back and forth. And he's like, "Well, what should I do?" And he's like, "Well, I have a gun. I'll just shoot it in the air to scare him." And Bender's like, "Yeah, do that." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "As sure as a heart attack. Like, just do it." Like he's like face to face, like 4 feet away. This bear is not fazed by them at all. So they shot the gun, and the bear took the garbage and took off. And for the rest of the night, Bender had all of a sudden I see lights hitting the tent. And we described him as a lighthouse for about 2 hours.
Bender was a lighthouse on crack.
He was holding a flashlight, just spinning in a circle, making sure there was no bears. It was really funny.
That's amazing.
And then we woke up the next morning, and there was literally a bald eagle like dive bombing and like fishing. I was like, where the hell are we? This is incredible. It was so beautiful. I mean, awesome. That bald eagle was like 6 to 8 feet wingspan just coming down, and you could feel the air from him. He was just so cool.
Yeah, but on that story, always make sure you know for sure everybody's going where they're at. If someone didn't tell you specifically they're leaving, don't assume that they did.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure that like they all meant well. I'm sure it was just a fluke thing, but that's just one of those things. Like you're never in too big a hurry to make sure everybody get out of there safe, because then you might end up needing to go rescue them a lot harder.
Well, I think they thought he just went home.
Yeah, that's what I think
he's
too.
He's just that guy that knew the area, thought he went home, and then they were like, "Whoa, he's not home."
Oh yeah, I'm sure though that they're now having conversations with people, going, "Look, if you decide that you just want to just go home, that's fine, but you need to tell somebody."
Yeah,
everybody tells someone.
If you just bounce, then we're going to come looking
tell
for you.
People if you're leaving.
Yeah. I really think that it was so genuine. Like they were like, "Oh, he knows these mountains." I mean, this is the person that knows these mountains inside, outside, upside, downside. I mean, he's 70 years old and have been living in those mountains basically forever. Yeah. And so no one questioned that he was gone. And then
I think at 70 you should start questioning. Yeah, at 70 you start questioning that he's gone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. I think that's probably true. I mean, you never know what condition someone's mind is in at that age.
No, I don't know what condition my mind is at this age.
Exactly. Like I'm going to turn 48 next year. You guys are going to have to start like keeping tabs on me. I'll fucking get lost. It'd be like Weekend at Bernie's. Randy's going to put sunglasses on me and pretend like
I
I'm
mean,
fine.
that should already people to keep like an eye out for where I'm going. I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
Good. That was a cool one. That came right up as you guys were coming back, and I'm like, I wonder if they heard about this yet.
Yeah,
oh, it was.
definitely.
Everybody was talking about it. They were just so relieved they found him. I think that they were like, we can't go into Jeepers because literally this Jeepers Jamboree is a family. Like I felt like I was invited into their home and that they welcomed me in and they were wonderful people and it was just like this kind of crazy thing. So there was a heavy heart about it. Like people were so genuinely concerned. They
were really upset that he was
and
lost.
so the fact that he was found the day before the Jamboree happened really made a big difference because everybody was just elated that they found him. Like it was just I mean, they really, truly are a family.
It could have impacted the mood because of how close knit of a family they are. Having one of their own being lost on the trail would have definitely put it.
I mean, people were out searching for him. Like that whole, like all of those people, like were out searching for him. They had like helicopters out looking for him. I mean, they were literally genuinely concerned, and that was what was so cool about that whole event. Is literally this close knit family that's bringing you in and showing you their home and doing the thing. So yeah, definitely we heard about it. Everybody was just so relieved.
That's how I feel like our community is in general. That's one of the reasons why we dedicate so much time and effort to being part of it, is because everybody's so nice and everybody's so welcoming and everybody cares genuinely about each other when something's happening. There might be a few outliers, but for the most part, this is what my opinion is of the community. Is a great group for us to be part of. You know, we love and take care of everybody. And I feel like that's a great example of this story. They were genuinely concerned. They searched and searched. They found him. And the fact that they found him, they were celebrating that throughout the rest of Jeepers Jamboree. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right. Let's see what else we got.
Oh, you want to read about how Jeep can't sell Jeeps during the
let's do that one. I'll save the other one for next week. Yeah.
I'm interested in that future one, but I think that we can say that one for next week. So Stellantis drops 48%. So auto giant Stellantis, the maker of Jeep and Dodge, reported a significant 48% drop in first half net profit, totaling about $6 billion. CEO Carlos Tavares cited reduced volumes, production gaps, and a shrinking market share in North America as significant factors.
You think?
Yeah. Tavares acknowledged the operational issues and arrogant mistakes in inventory, manufacturing, and sales strategies as contributors to the decline. Despite a 16% drop in U.S. sales and market share dip to 8.2%, Stellantis maintains its 2024 outlook, aiming for double-digit operating income margins and positive cash flow. The company plans to tackle these issues with 20 new model launches this year and potential price cuts to boost sales. While addressing these challenges, Stellantis reassured investors of continued capital returns through dividends and buybacks. The earnings report follows mixed results from their rivals, GM and Ford, highlighting tough conditions in the auto industry. Well, there is the fact that they're trying to charge $100,000 for a car that used to be $70,000.
That is my thing about this story. Like, I don't understand why this is. I understand why it's news. I don't understand why they're shocked that they dropped and they have massive inventory.
Yeah. That's the main thing I think is the big deal. And there are other issues that they have quality wise, like there's the paint bubbling issues all across all of their brands. There's things that they're kind of arrogant about that they don't take care of and they don't resolve properly. But the number one thing is just like what I think I just said. It's they're charging $100,000 for something that used to be 70.
Right.
And they're charging 70 for something that used to be 40. Like they're like jumping giant markets. Like if you want somebody to buy But then the Gladiator is tanking. So if you want a Gladiator, you're in good luck.
Yeah, right now is a great time to buy a Gladiator, especially if you're buying a used one, man. Holy cow.
They're like 25 to 30,000 for a Gladiator right now. It's amazing. I love it.
I think they're an acquired taste for some people, Pope. I'm just saying.
I think that's starting to show over time. Like they thought it was going to kick the Tacoma's ass. And in terms of an off-roading rig, yeah, it does. But it's not a widespread thing. Like people who want a Jeep, and people who want a truck tend to want to have a Tacoma.
Like if they want a truck that's like that kind of size.
That's that kind of size, yeah. And
I think they
look like
they're fucking ugly.
Off the lot stock.
They're ugly off the lot. Like
so
you
ugly.
have to build them for them to be rad. Like
if you
it looks like an El Camino in stock.
Or at least 35, 37s and at least a 2 or 3 inch lift, or that thing is ugly.
So
like,
the other
it looks like an El Camino.
The other thing I would say that Jeep is screwing up on that other brands aren't is they're not making the rig we want. Like you look at the Bronco Raptor coming out on 37s, or the F-150 Raptor, the Ranger Raptor even. Those are fast, fun, sporty rigs with extra upgrades that are ready for off-road and ready for what they're advertising it to do. You've seen the reel on Instagram, that audio that says all you have to do to get your Jeep ready to go off-road is replace everything that came with it.
Yeah. And they're not going to they don't want to do that though. They just paid. So the other story that I should have put in here too was that they paid $190 million in fines for not meeting fuel economy standards.
Yeah. And that's partially their engineering too, because they've been using this 12-year-old platform that doesn't do very well, this 3.6 pentagram motor.
Oh my god, the 3.6 is an embarrassment of an engine.
That's an embarrassment for them. They shouldn't be putting that in a lot of these things. It's not made for that. And that's your answer for giving people more power.
Everybody's all about the Subaru Brat. Maybe we should get a Brat.
Yeah, maybe we should. But the Gladiator was just kind of like, it looks like an El Camino, man, and it's...
What the hell is a Subaru Brat?
It's the Subaru truck. Cute. They're usually orange or yellow.
They're cute.
And it's like it's like an Outback that's been turned into a pickup.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen them. All right.
I don't know if straight people are allowed to own them or not.
Oh boy, this is
they're cute. They're cute. So cute.
This is a vehicle for those of you not in the know.
So that's one of the old ones, and the new ones look cute. And then if you lift them and put off-road tires on them, they are.
So wait, there's cute? Like a new one.
There's new ones, yeah. Those are classic ones, but they make new ones that are really nice.
Because it just came up with those,
and you're like,
with the jump seat.
They're so rare. They're not very common, but they're cute as hell. I would actually drive one.
Like, because they put seats in the truck bed, it made it a sedan, so they didn't have to do something. I can't remember. There was like something with insurance, because if it was a truck, they had to do something with trucks or something. So they put those 2 seats. They're cute though. Oh, that's the new Brat.
That's the one they want to do.
Huh.
Well, the existing one's only...
That kind of just looks like a squatty Tacoma.
Yeah. But the Brats that they've had in the past, they're usually yellow and orange. And
yeah, that's a cute one. I think a Brat would be cute.
That would be cute.
I mean, that's not too terrible.
We're looking at a 63 Gladiator right now, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ, guys. Come on.
We're just looking at it. I needed a car to restore as much as they need a hole in my head.
What would that bring the vehicle count up to?
5.
It would be so fun though.
We've
and I am dreaming about the YouTube video. See, I've had a little bit of tequila, so I'm fucking with all of you. Okay, so this is the thing. I am so excited for the video when we bob the bed of the 63 Gladiator and we cut it. And the hate we get for cutting that bobbed bed.
For cutting the original bed.
Yeah.
This truck is probably really one of the oldest original Gladiators made by the Willys factory that's in existence, and it would be fun to chop it up and get hate for it.
I'm here for it.
Hate for anything. People are like,
yeah.
I bet my shock on the Rubicon, and they're like, that Jeep is either flopped or the shock is bent. And I'm like, or she breaks it. And I'm like, dude, I actually don't break my Jeep very often. I just had 2 really weird things.
We actually try real hard to make sure our Jeeps are the ones that are operational on the trail. After the trail, we're fixing them. On the trail,
I'd like to know from those people how often they're wheeling too. Because those of us who break our shit more often, we tend to wheel more often. Yeah.
I mean, it was driver's error when I rolled.
Get some seat time, pal, and then let's see how.
But that scary little log that came up my ass, it was not like I expected that to happen.
I'm gonna mark that as well. Mm-hmm. That's another good sound clip for another piece. It's for another day.
No, I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
I've had some weird luck lately, but like, I mean, my rollover was 100% driver error. You can totally hate me for that. Think I'm an idiot.
You don't. No, there shouldn't be any hate for that. No, there's no hate.
It's a
people
very
make mistakes.
interesting thing. But then people are like, "Oh, so now she bends her shock on the Rubicon?" Yeah, I sucked up a log. It happens.
Well, here's the other thing too: is that we're not. I know I'm not afraid to post my fails, like in those scenarios, and I know there's a lot of people who fail a lot more often, and they just don't post it.
Randy, it's time for a long arm kit. I'm triangulated with a long arm kit.
Yeah.
I don't think I need a long arm kit.
She's got as much space as she can get under there.
Yeah, my Jeep, like, if anybody is curious, on the Rubicon, I couldn't take a bad line. Like, it was incredible. She was so sexy and, like, did a lot of really good things. I can drive.
I found one bad line.
Just so everybody...
I found one bad line, he says.
Hey, the Gladiator is a long fucking rig, and if I would have got out and looked first, I wouldn't have taken that line. I didn't. I just tried to follow Bender's line, and it didn't work.
But, I mean, I was in. If I feel tipsy in Gem, if I feel tippy at all, then I'm in a bad place because that thing is level. Like, she is so sick right now. I just want everybody to know, like, Gem's running fantastic. She bent a little. She sucked up a log. That's all that happened.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Little shock rebuild and back to good as new.
Yeah.
I don't even like. I mean, we'll definitely do it, but I don't think it has to happen tomorrow. If I want to take her out tomorrow, I could take her out tomorrow. And
it drives fine on the road. It's just it unloads a little oddly.
But I kind of got used to it by the end of the thing. It was like a little bit of.
Nathan, are you going to bob the bed because you've been influenced to do so by Pope and Randy?
It's a good idea.
I watched Josie smash her truck bed into the wall again.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw.
We've been trying.
She seemed a little distraught, but not.
She's fine, actually.
She doesn't like. We really didn't even spot anybody through anything. We literally just did the Rubicon.
And that spot was one of the spots where she got spotted. And I was watching Ricky from G-Force Off-Road was telling her, "Okay, now come forward," and she went backwards and ran right into the rock.
It happens.
Sometimes it happens. And now she has matching scratches on both sides, right where you need to remove it for the bobbing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, it's fun, guys. I love my bob bed. I would recommend it if you're doing this type of stuff.
Yes, Nathan. If you're doing anything that you're worried about it, the bob bed. And the bob bed from Motobuilt is sick. You can take a baseball bat to it. It's not going to bend.
They have a longer one. It's almost like a full-size bed that's the same steel, so you get the benefit of...
And it's dovetailed.
Yeah, and it's dovetailed, so you have a benefit of the armor plus a little bit of a dovetail.
And Nate wants to bob the factory bed. He doesn't want the metal cloak one. Or Motobuilt, excuse me.
So the thing about it is, this is my opinion, and it could be swayed. I haven't been swayed, but you could try. The factory bed is made out of basically really thin steel or aluminum. And it cannot take a hit. If it glances against the rock, it will get a dent. And so if you spend all that money on body work to bob the bed and get it set up, you're going to take it out on the trail, and the first rock you hit, it's going to be dent.
You'll be really mad
you'll
at
break,
that.
and then you still have the shitty tail lights that hang out off the side. Even if you upgrade the Oracle ones, I've still managed to smash those up on a rock too. and that's basically it. You're still prone to hit it. So when you switch to the motobuilt beds, if you go the full bed or the short one, they're 3/16 steel or 3/16 aluminum and 1/4 inch steel on the bottom. They don't dent. You can't really hurt them. And I've smashed it up on all kinds of rocks. I rolled it. That thickness of the steel, it's the same thickness they do on their bumper. You would have to be going awfully damn fast when you hit something to break it. And whatever you hit was going to get broke too.
The other thing is that people who are bobbing their beds and they don't there's a weight distribution too. You're cutting off 14 inches of that frame and things like that. You're so front heavy with your engine that the bob bed that's steel or even the aluminum one is heavier than your actual bed that it is, and it will help hold you down for how short you're going. That's another thing is that the steel bob bed on him, yeah, it's heavy, but it keeps his weight distribution, especially with this 392. So it's kind of I find that people who do cut the bob bed off, if you're not worried about bending it up or you're not having to worry about those kind of rocks, the other thing is the weight that you lose in the back too when you cut that off. So that's another thing to think about. Just thoughts. We've bobbed, so we also know, we looked at dove.
We were coming up with some ideas before we made a product for it. But the idea, if you like the look of the Gladiator butt, and a lot of people, and I do, then that's still a good option, is to bob it like that. But I just would be not really wanting to take out something on the trail I just spent that much money trying to make.
Look good.
Yeah.
If you're going to do hard trails, I guess it's if you're going to do harder trails and you're worried about body damage.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, the other thing Nate said too, he didn't like the fuel filler was on top. If you're already doing modifications, you could modify the motorbuilt one. So
you could put the fuel filler on the side if you want. Just drill a hole.
Mm-hmm.
One Mark said, "True. When I smashed my OEM bed, the cost of paint would have paid for my bobbed bed," which is true.
Yep.
That's the thing is those motorbuilt bob beds. Once you jack up your bed and you go to get the body work done, it's pretty much the same cost to fix it.
So the lesson here, Nate, is to get into a rear end accident so that you can get your insurance company to pay for a new bed.
Yep.
Or at least cover the majority of the cost for you to get the bobbed bed. All right. This has been advice not to take from the Trailhead tonight.
They located
do not do that. Yeah. I believe that falls under the disclaimer.
Oh.
I actually kind of like the way the fuel filler is because it holds the gas pump perfectly for you. No, I fucking hate it too. I'm just I actually learned to work with it to get it to hold it perfectly because it's actually shaped. The hole is just exactly the right size for that. But yeah. Oh, this is a fun one.
I wanted to. We'll do a couple of these before we go, just because I know you shared this one,
these.
and I wanted.
Yeah, I love these when we do these.
So here, I also want to share these as clips on social media. I think would be amazing. So let's see here. Let's go with this. Turn the volume on. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Is this the wall in Poughkeepsie Gulch?
No, this is not the wall of Poughkeepsie Gulch.
All that hopping.
Oh. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was harsh.
That's a lot more than...
Yeah, that's... I'm assuming everything worked out okay for there, but...
That was their insurance payout right here.
So, Nate, what we're saying here is that this is what can happen when you file a good insurance claim.
Wow.
Nice.
So, my only observation is that I don't Is this supposed to be like a party line right here? Because there's like all the black over on the other spot that looks perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of looks like an area where it's kind of you just kind of take any particular way you want up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not rolling over fresh vegetation or anything. Excuse
I just feel so
they're
bad
not
for
rolling
that
over
person. Look how
vegetation
many
until
times they
there.
rolled over.
Oh, that was at least 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, that was not a good.
They're going at it. I don't know if you have to go at it that fast. I would probably go a little slower, knowing the consequences over on the right there.
Like
Or
I
on the
feel
left.
like, yeah. Well, and there's also a lot of people directly in front of them on both of those. I'm just kind of surprised by the amount of people willing to take their life in their hands on that one.
That
All right.
first one, it's kind of hard to see if you could figure out something to do differently other than not be in that line. That was just like they started hopping on there, and then when they hopped, they fell over.
Yeah.
You really should.
I don't think it's our place to really even decide, but I think that's
just.
Well, no.
it just
So
sucks.
actually, it's pretty easy to see. So if you watch that video, he tries to take a line. He's putting his passenger tire on the driver, or the driver tire on the passenger line.
Yeah.
He's trying to go up the middle there, and it's no line there.
Yeah.
And then this time when he goes up it, he seems to go.
He took
up.
the right line. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's still.
But look at all those people.
Yeah, there's all those people standing at the top. I really don't recommend you stand there.
Shit.
Send
For
your
real,
hate to
though.
our phone number.
Yeah, 719-408-0132.
But there's,
Good Lord.
like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be standing right there, especially when I see how this guy drives.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's just a little heavy on the throttle for how scary that is.
No, I think that's fair criticism, Randy. All right, let's see here. I got one more. I got 2 more. 3 more. Excuse me. And the last one is just for Randy.
Oh,
just
great.
for you. I specifically picked it out just for you.
Good.
Now this guy, I'm giving him credit for skill.
This is a great, great photo.
It's a great stop, right?
Yeah.
Oh, driver! Right there. Driver, time to go right there. Yep. Go forward!
Nice. Woo!
Good.
Who is that?
So, that was just pure gas, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
In that moment, he just gassed it.
He just knew.
He knew.
Yeah. That was good.
Wow.
What is that?
Yeah,
Rubicon JK.
Okay. But
Troy.
where is
Oh,
that?
I don't know where this is. I'm not entirely sure. It's not tagged where it was.
It's funny.
Rubicon JK, if you're a listener, please let us know where you're at. And come on, talk about it. Come on the
Nice.
show.
It looks like Colorado.
Nice driving, though, for sure.
It does. It kind of looks like Colorado. It could also be Northern California, too.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I take
Rubistine
no,
is like
I take
party
that
time. I
back.
still can't believe how much.
Nope. I recognize
That's
this.
Colorado.
Yep, I recognize the JT in the background. Yep. Okay, that's Colorado.
I was with everybody. Oh wow, that's.
I have to figure out.
Matt.
Oh,
Now I gotta go see Matt's video on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet
Okay.
you. Okay, so Josh was on the trail with him when that happened. That's a
Okay,
a nice save, dude. Good job, Troy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Well, Joy.
probably. I bet that's Chinaman or
Carnage.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be.
It could be
Chinaman.
Carnage
too.
or China.
Yeah.
Ying Sing. That would make sense because there was a bunch of people there for fun. There were people doing that trail. All right, let's see here. What's we got? This one. Oh, this one was fun. I don't think you guys have seen this because I did not share this. It's just one of those foreign videos of how not to use a kinetic rope.
Oh, I love these.
Just keep an eye out. Christ. Like, you didn't think that anything? Like, just one more time for good measure. This is just. So
One more time.
one more time. One more time. I wish I looked for other angles. This was the best angle that I found from this incident. But everybody follows the red truck and they don't recognize that the other car is just going end over end until the last second. Yeah. So be careful about how you use those kinetic ropes, folks.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're not whipping the vehicle you're towing into something.
Yes, it escalated quickly.
We have
Into
experience
the-
doing something like that, whipping Dirt Road Journey into trees and bushes at Bronco Buster when
that
we were
was
getting
the
them out
funnest
2-wheel
day,
drive. But
that's awesome.
oh man, that's not.
Oh, so that last one was Holy Cross, Brian said.
There you
Holy
go.
Cross.
Okay, Holy Cross.
Cleveland Rock.
Actually, that's the one I want to do. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I definitely want to come up and do that one.
Yeah, if you guys want to come up and do Buena Vista, we'll come up and do Buena Vista. I think that'd be a good trip. Let's do
We're
it.
gonna definitely do it.
Should we show the high lift one?
Yeah.
Should we show the high lift
understand
one?
I didn't understand if this was real or fake, or if it was like a miniature RC
Oh, it's
car.
legit. It's legit. It's
To drop the vehicle, again, use the palm of your hand. Just give it a quick strike. As we come up, as soon as I click that pin, now I have the weight of the vehicle on it. And the dangerous part of the high lift jack of the handle. That we've got the vehicle in the air. To drop the vehicle, again, use the palm of your hand. Just give it a quick strike. As we come up, as soon as I click that pin, now I have the weight of the vehicle on it. And the dangerous part of the high lift jack
the only thing better that made that video better is that if he had put a watermelon in between the high lift and the handle and just let that happen.
Was he showing that? How that happens?
No,
Or
he's just showing. Yeah, he's showing what happens and why there's so much danger in the high lift especially when you're dropping it.
That's the guy from all the Northridge videos.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a legit video. It's not. Yeah, this is something that the guy Matt that we had on the show he explains how this works. But yeah, if you don't know how to use a high lift, don't use it. And
yeah,
if you
I would rather not use it.
So Factor, just as a side note, these were included in my Alpha Fund books, my swag bags. But Factor 55 has a ton of books. They're $4 or $5 on Amazon. I think probably cheaper if you buy the digital version. But there's a whole bunch of shit in there, including how to use a high lift. These were how to use a kinetic recovery rope and how to do basic guide for winching. But if you don't, if you have a high lift, know how to use it. Don't hurt yourself in the middle of trying to get recovered.
Yeah, that one is a dangerous tool in the wrong hands. That would be my hands.
That'd be I've got one, but specific circumstances. Everything else has a specific use. So, all right, last fun one, just for Randy. Are you ready for this, Randy? Let's see here.
Oh yeah.
Spit on that thing. Gotta give it that fuck. Spit on that thing.
It's just for you.
That's so funny.
Oh, two-year-old. I still stand by my I love her. That's all.
Oh, she's fantastic. She's every time I see an interview with her, like you just seem like a good human being. Bless you.
Yeah, she's living her best life.
She is. She's
living her best life. 100%.
She did a video that explained to her grandma what Haktua meant.
That was the song. Oh, that was good.
Yeah, the song.
All right. Oh, we should get out of here. We've been at this for an hour and 40 or so.
All right.
Anything else? I don't have any events coming up. We just got the Trail Hero, I think, is the next big thing on the calendar.
Our next event is Trail Hero. And
cool.
we're
gonna just do a bunch of local stuff. We're
Yeah.
excited to see
Yeah.
our local friends. So if our local friends are listening, call me.
Call us.
There you go.
And don't be surprised if you see us show up at some Dirty Adventure Crew event or something, and that's happening in our area.
Local. We need to like chill for a minute.
We miss our people.
Yeah, we miss our like. Yeah.
There it goes. Well, and that's a reminder I forgot. August 23rd through the 25th, and most likely just the 24th and the 25th. I'll be out at Overland Expo, and then Alyssa, I think was at the Takata tent or something like that. She's going to be out there too. So we're going to get to meet before you guys and I. So
wow,
I know.
We'll meet at Trail Hero.
It's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. I already got the reservation, so it's just a matter of what days I'm coming in for it. I want to come in for the whole thing. I really do, and I'm really debating it. We'll see. All right. Let's get the hell out of here. Party shots.
Okay.
Oh, let me pour a little bit extra in here.
Well, and thank you, Brian.
You made a good dent on that.
Nate.
Oh yeah, we did really good. Randy,
Brian, Mark, and Nate stuck around through the entire podcast. We love all of you.
We love you guys. Thank you very much for hanging
guys.
out.
Here's our parting shot.
Cheers, guys.
Parting shot. Mark, we get to see you in just a couple months. We're super excited for it.
All right. We should see everybody. If you're you want to come see us at Trail Hero. Hopefully after we talk with Rich, we'll be doing a show live from there. We'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed.
All right, guys.
All right. Have a
See
good
you
night.
later.
Thanks for
Bye,
see you next time at the Trailhead.